So it's the really exclusive club because there's only one member. I'm presenting two projects, an augmented reality geo-referenced video application and the alignment and display of a site monitoring camera in Autodesk Forge. A bit of background, I started out as a BIM and CAD technician at Murphy Surveys, and then moved into more research and development, a lot of software, but with some workflow, product design and hardware as well. I'm also a consultant through my little LTD, and that can cover everything from optics, systems, display systems, hardware, computer vision, sort of web VR, web XR, and also applications in the construction industry. So also I'd like to give a special shout out to Huda for minding me when I was filming so I didn't get run over, and logistics as well. So the first project, the AR Geo Video, this project started just under 2 weeks ago, where a client of Murphy Surveys wanted context for where the surveyed underground utilities are in respect to a street. As we know, it's quite normal to see utilities very nicely laid out, whether that's on an actual BIM model or through CAD. But it can be difficult to find the points where the underground utilities actually surface through manholes or drains. So we have a Trimble Sitevision, and instead of needing the client to come out and view it live, we wanted to bring that augmented reality view back to them in the office to use whenever they wanted to. So Transport Infrastructure Ireland are building the new okay. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. They're building the new metro system, or sorry, not building, but designing the new metro system for Dublin, and they wanted a view of many underground utilities in Glasnevin in North Dublin. So as we can see here, the street is on top, but actually the underground utilities themselves are very densely packed into both footpaths and running along the road. So the solution is to have an augmented reality video display side by side with a map. Points, GPS points on a map correspond to intervals in the video, and clicking a point on the video, clicking a point on the map displays the appropriate section of the video. This was done with the Trimble Sitevision taped into a massive camera industry gimbal, screen recorder on the phone, and also a auto clicker app that would automatically click to take a survey point every 5 seconds. Went through a couple of iterations of filming rigs, with gradually eventually going with a massive gimbal for the third iteration. There's a live video page as well, which I'll show at the end. As we can see on the left is the map with the surveyed points, and on the right, the appropriate section of the video. So what was achieved over the course of the last 2 weeks, the MVP, I guess you call it, is done. Everything from the surveying rig to the actual map and video with the appropriate correlation between the two. What is still to be done is to use upgrade to a 360 panoramic video. Unfortunately, that night it was too dark to film with the 360 video by the time the regular filming was done, and also just an animated marker. And of course, to make it presentable to the client, needs a lot of styling on the page as well. With the upgrade to a 360 AR video, we would also be able to integrate with an existing little portal page where the 360 can be viewed as a video, as was shown previously, but also as more like a street view backdrop to a BIM model. Yeah, so fairly basic in terms of code. The only manual part was the CSV of surveyed points was cleaned up manually before being brought into the map, but obviously that's a simple enough CSV file reader. So the second project, which was started in the last few days, was to align and show a monitoring site camera in Autodesk Forge. This project was originally discussed with the team at Evercam at the last AEC Hive Hackathon in Dublin, but I was not able to attend the actual hacking day at it. So this idea was just left to the wayside until a few days ago. So the problem is that project managers and others might like to view the construction progress as a live view or time lapse directly against a BIM model. The actual alignment of a camera to the model is, as far as I know, usually a manual process and often done by surveying the camera on site. So I wanted to make a process by which you could directly match the camera to the Forge model without needing to go back on site. And if the camera should shake or move a bit, you can adjust it within the viewer. So the solution is to have Forge viewer and an aligned camera. The perspective endpoint algorithm is used in OpenCV to solve the camera, its relative position rotation, so that it matches up with the model, and also to use the experimental Forge viewer settings for transparent background and add an underlay and overlay of the video feed with a slider so that you can compare the video to the model. Okay, so step one was the OpenCV calibration. This is a standard script, essentially taking photos of a checkerboard of known scale to find the focal length and the distortion of the camera. Secondly, a small web page to pick 4 points from a screen grab of the actual site monitoring video. And again, another small modification to the basic web viewer to pick 4 corresponding points on the BIM model. As you can see on the right there in the console.log are the intersection points. These points are fed into the solve PNP algorithm in OpenCV, and the output of that algorithm is the camera position and rotation. So then afterwards is the job of creating, setting the camera view in Forge of the virtual camera to those parameters, and then creating the transparent background and underlay and overlay canvases of the actual video view so that they line up. And there's some of my code. So this is the original screen grab and the actual placement. It seems that the camera was solved correctly, but that I'm missing some kind of correct styling in Autodesk Forge to actually get the right aspect ratio so that it truly lines up. So it's a styling problem as opposed to a technical one. Again, I have the slider with the video and underlay and overlay working separately, but they are actually broken on that page, or at least stuck because of the styling. And again, this is an example where it's actually working. So with the geo video, here's an example of it running. And again, we can click play here and it shows the appropriate section of the video. Here's an example of the underlay and overlay slider working correctly. And if you go onto the test site, okay, here we go. It has the transparent background here. It's loaded up. Reasonable guess as to the proper angle, and the video is failing. Like you can go on and check the demo yourself, but every so often it will fail to either load the transparent background or fail to load the video overlay and underlay correctly. That would be a code race issue. But it might. Within the company, we've created a number of videos from drone perspective, overlaying CGI content, from a top-down or oblique perspective. But what we wanted to nail down here was a really quick one-shot process to create both the augmented reality video and also to have the GPS with timestamps on a map for later integration into a web portal system, which at the moment only facilitates 2D data. So it's more about so a lot of it is about the process by which we do this. Thanks. So any questions?
Yeah, questions from the judges. Chris.